Hey guys, welcome back to Modern Golf, where we normally talk about golf stuff or techie stuff, but today we're talking about ceramic coatings. Where to begin? So 2 years ago, I had ordered and I'll show pictures if you guys haven't seen it before, a 2022 Volkswagen GTI that took, I don't know, 6 or 9 months to get from Germany. As soon as I received it, we PPF'd it, tinted the windows, and then I cleaned up the paint with a Rupes polisher and put CarPro C-Quartz 3.0 ceramic coating on it. We put 2 layers on it. It wasn't a daunting task. It's pretty user-friendly. But in the last probably 6 months or so, I've noticed, and I'll put a video up now, and you'll be able to see it wasn't beating up. It wasn't really doing what it's supposed to do, let's say. I know CarPro says it's between a 2 or 3 and 4 year kind of coating, and my car is parked in a garage, so it's not one of those things where it's left outside and getting destroyed by weather. But long story short, it happens. I'm not mad at CarPro. It is what it is. This is the nature of the beast with ceramic coating, especially, you know, the earlier coatings from years ago. So I was trying to figure out, like, what coating do I want to do? Am I going to keep this car long term? What am I going to do? So I decided I'm going to keep it for at least another year or so. We're going to do some other things here in the fall to it. So I was looking at different features of different ceramics, Kamikaze and a bunch of other really higher end ones. And the thing that I feared is this is not my normal job. Like, this is something I've done maybe 50 to 60 times, but it's not something I do on a regular basis. So I'm really not, I would say, an expert. So I'm coming to you from a position of I'm just a novice, but I want to kind of walk you through what it was like kind of going through this process, and is it hard, easy, and all that stuff. So I didn't want to get into the Kamikaze and some of the real higher ones that have a very harder time to remove. Let's say get very adhesive, very tacky quickly, and then you're really kind of taking them off aggressively, which I didn't want to do. I am a believer in, and just for my own issues or reasons, is I remove them sooner than later. So for example, I watched a video of a guy putting a different coating on, and he let it sit for 7 minutes. I don't think I've let a coating sit on for more than 2 minutes of any of mine, and I've used from really high-end ones to really low-end ones, just for the fear of I don't want them becoming so tacky that I literally have to kind of, I want to say scrub them off, but basically polish or wet sand them off. So long story short, I settled on the Adams Graphene ceramic coating, and this is the Advanced. I didn't do the lights and all that stuff. I've done this enough where I thought it wouldn't be a problem. And so I just want to walk you through. I'm not going to show you videos of every step of the process I go through. Obviously, I'm putting ceramic on top of ceramic in a lot of areas. And kind of filling the gaps. So I normally wash my car like I always do. I used, and I'll put it up, CarPro's Reset for this, and I actually used it multiple times. You'll see, actually you won't see, but I use multiple times to kind of make sure it's really clear. I power washed it. I then used an iron mover that is done by PDP, the guys here in my part of town, that's Professional Detailing Products. Did that. I didn't have a lot of fall off. And then I felt the paint. I didn't feel like I really needed to clay it at all. And for those who are familiar, claying is basically you can take a clay I use it kind of like a sponge version. That's a little easier. So if you do drop it, you can kind of just hose it off and keep going. The only problem to me with clay, you're literally taking layers of paint off if you overly do it, so I don't like to do that. I then polished the car where it needed to. It's so funny, like you get scratches in the oddest of areas, and you usually use an electric leaf blower or very soft towels, and so I polished what I could. You know, the car's 2 years old. I've got 40,000 miles plus on it, so it does have a little wear and tear even with the PPF. They're not museum cars, unfortunately. I think that's the hardest thing for some of us, me, to really deal with, is that they're not you know, museum quality. I mean, we try to keep them that way, but it's just difficult. You know, if you drive as much as I do or more, you guys know, like, rock chips happen. I had something, a flying piece of rubber hit my PPF, but still went through the PPF. You know, and to replace a PPF's $400 or $500, so, you know, I took care of it and just kind of color matched the paint. But anyway, so go through all that stuff, you know, all those steps, the cars, and then I use the ISO wipe down, so I wipe it and it's clean as can be. So what I discovered with this, and kind of the reason I'm doing this video, my car's black, as you guys saw. This, it does rainbow a little bit, and the day I did it was hot and humid, and I did it in my garage. Obviously I'm not going to do it outside. My lighting is good, but not fantastic. It flashes really quick to me. It rainbows really quick, and then what Adam says, it almost sweats a little bit. And so I was surprised, and maybe because of humidity, mine under 90 seconds rainbowed pretty quick and then would sweat even faster. Literally under 2 minutes on any panel, it would flash. So when I hear other people say they've used this product and they let it sit for 7 minutes, maybe in air conditioning at 65 degrees and very low humidity. So I'm not here to judge, but I know from my circumstances, it really went quick. So wipe it off. I didn't have too many issues. The only thing on a black car, it gets darker, and I would say the high spots, and again, I'm not an expert, you know, you have a couple high spots, and where I get high spots is I use, obviously, the applicator, and then I use one towel to kind of level it, as I say, and then wipe it off. And sometimes, and it happens to all of us, I'll put my hand somewhere on a different panel to rest while I'm cleaning something off, and then later I'll go back and see fingerprints or whatever from towel marks from the ceramic coating. But not a lot of high spots. The only thing that's hard for me is the high spots on this particular coating on a black car. It's not like it is in some. So I've done a number of ones, and you can kind of really see it on all angles, and this is hard. It doesn't rainbow like so. The Car Pro would rainbow when it hits high spots. This doesn't. It's just like a darker kind of image or finish on the paint. So at glances, you're like, I'm not sure if that's a shadow or shade or what have you. So I talked to somebody at Adams, agreed. You can literally take their polish or any polish, and you don't have to use a polisher. Just put it on an applicator, a microfiber applicator, kind of rub it on, let it sit for a few minutes and wipe it off, and the high spots are gone. It's been a really helpful tip for those guys who do this on the side or on occasion, where you're like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And so I just washed this car 2 days ago, and it was about 2 weeks since I had done this, and I was really impressed. And I don't want to show you all the footage, it's boring to a lot of people, but it's nice to see the slickness of this is really how the Car Pro one was initially. Really, the true test for me is a year from now, 2 years from now, is it still as good. Initially, I've used a lot of different ones, and initially they're all great, and you can use an electric, you know, leaf blower, and they all do great. It's 6 months, 9 months, a year. You're like, wait a second, this doesn't, you know, I put Car Pro on my son's car and on the hood, and he parks outside. It's like, it's non-existent. So I'm just going to run you a real quick video here. It's 10 seconds long of how slick and the water, I would say proofness, but how quickly it slides off. It's really It's really been an amazing product. Big shout out to Adams. My order got lost, and I was trying to get this done for a certain weekend because I had time. They really helped me expedite this, so I really appreciate the customer service for them has been phenomenal when I've had any issues whatsoever. So anyway, just want to give you an overview of what it's like for a novice to use this. Very easy to use. Again, if you do get high spots, which if you're not a professional, you probably will have high spots. It just happens. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like I don't know what you're doing. It just happens. Listen, I told you I've leaned my arm against a panel, then all of a sudden go back and say, how the hell did I get this here? So super easy to use. The slickness is off the chart good. I think this is a rating of a 1 to 10. I think this is a 10 for hardness. Could be wrong. Maybe it's a 9. Looks outstanding. You know, I've come from a ceramic coating on this car, so I know what it looks like slickness-wise. So it's hard. to say it looks way different. It is a little darker, and you may have seen other videos where it is a little darker than your normal paint. So it's kind of neat. But overall, very easy to use. Again, very slick, super easy to wash. I've only washed it once. And like I said, really have enjoyed it. Long term, we'll see. I think this was $139. I paid, I think it was $100. They had it on sale for Father's Day-ish around that time. So around $100. For $100, is it worth doing 100%? And you don't have to be an expert in detailing to do this. I was watching a video of one of the guys talking about this product, and they said, you know, the slickness and how much it shines is really up to you. If you don't want to polish it, you don't have to. I always try to jump on my cars as soon as I get them and get them ready versus a year or two down the road. And I've done cars 2 and 3 years old, and it's, you know, you can't perfect everything. It's just impossible. So it really depends on when you want to jump on it and get it done. But bang for your buck, I think Adams is probably in the top 1 or 2 that I've used that I've really have enjoyed. And again, long term, we'll see. I'll come back in a year from now and report back to you guys of what we really think of this. But I just want to give you kind of my quick novice 2 cents of what I thought of this Adams advanced ceramic coating. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, please like. Please let me know if there's anything else you want to see. We do mostly golf stuff, but I do like to mix it up with other things that interest me. So golf is obviously the most important, but car stuff, lawn stuff, clothing, you know, all that stuff, fragrances, you'll see. I try to kind of mix it up because that's kind of what interests me, and I don't just identify as a golfer. I want to identify as a lot of things. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we will catch up with you next time. Thanks, guys.